All right, I'm going to go ahead and go live here. This is Elliot Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. So as people join, I'm going to just kind of go through where I think the market is overall, like I usually do to start out, and just kind of jump into it. And just, it's really interesting because we've got a lot of the Trump euphoria. I believe that slowing down a little bit, but there's still a lot of just investors throwing all caution to the wind right now. They're putting their whole stack in the market, pot committing into crypto. They're just like, hey, I'm all in. I'm all in. This is I can't lose because you have someone that is so pro market about to take over. And we saw how the market behaved when he was president last 4 year in the 4 year cycle, before Biden. So people are assuming it's going to be the same thing, but the market never does the same thing typically. And so I think we have some interesting dynamics here with also Trump promising a lot of change. And usually the market hates change, and with change comes volatility. And the market, I don't think, can handle that right now. It's not set up. The investors are too committed on the long side. So the Dow Jones have a nice 5 wave move down with a 3 wave move up. As long as we stay below this peak, we should see another leg lower. So next week could be pretty. Not, maybe we finish it next week, and then the week after, come down. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Again, it could be just an ABC and a bigger move for an extension in this bigger wave 5, which a lot of people believe. But with a 5 down, and with the 3 up, even if we break the high, it could, it could be a different count. But I believe this is the count for right now. And let's look at our long-term stochastics. Kind of consolidating, ready for a big move here. Same thing. There's a lot of tension in this pattern on the weekly RSI, right? A lot of tension here building up. But at some point we come to this apex. I mean, maybe we have to wait to the end of the year, right? But at some point, this tension will relieve itself, and will we see something like that, or something like this, to finish the larger cycle? That's what I think will happen. And then the monthly is also, it's trying to take this peak out to erase the divergence. So it's at a very important moment to get continuation on the Dow Jones. Erasing that divergence here would be, I think, somewhat significant. It would be a warning actually for bears if that could happen. But obviously this is the ultimate area. Now, looking at this from the whole cycle since '09, you still are in the bull market. But at some point, we want to see that end. And then the cycle from 22, we're still in that cycle. So the long-term monthly stochastic is still bullish. The weekly looks like it's gone too long, and it needs to be reset. The weekly has not been reset since March 2020. Okay, we haven't had, so this is way overdue. This is way overdue for a weekly cycle reset. We have bearish divergence here, and then between here and here. So this could easily actually take out this peak on the weekly, which once happens should break or at least test the trend line here. And then the market will either continue with even more divergence with a new high, or it will end the grand super cycle. And this is where we get into the situation where right now, is this wave 5 that I have down here this March 2020 wave 5 going to extend or not? Are we finishing up 1 and then 2, a big 2, the weekly cycle reset? We find support on the trend line on the monthly RSI, and then the higher degree wave 5 goes in to mania mode. A real blow off top, one for the ages, the record, your memory, your tell your great grandkids about that you lived through, and that's still a possibility. And with the Nasdaq taking highs, with stocks like Amazon breaking highs, I think you have to assume that something like this can happen. Something like this can happen with a big drop, which will feel like a crash. What we're about to, I think, happen will feel like a crash, but it won't. It will fool a lot of people and find support to finish it up, and then you get the crash for that everyone is thinking. That's what I think is like the path right now, that I'm seeing a big pullback, like something to the extent we saw here, maybe even more, as severe as that, and then support it, and then we go for more, even bigger bearish divergence on the monthly cycle as we find that bounce and we come back up and we have even bigger divergence, and then we come down. That's what I think, because the Nasdaq has broke this high. I believe that's what's going to happen. I believe this wave 5 is probably going to extend, but not before a big pullback that's going to really shake the bones of traders to their core, and a lot of people will lose a lot of money trying to buy the dip. But I believe you could see tech come back to 360, 370 in this area, between somewhere in this area, and then the final top. That's what I think we're going to see. That's what I'm thinking. But we have to wait and see what happens with the wave as we get into it. But that's what. But I believe it's. But I do believe in any moment, if not already, the market has peaked. And again, it could still make more highs and extend into 5 here, but it does. It could peak. It could have already peaked, and people don't even realize it yet. It's already peaked on November 11th. We just don't know. But they're desperate to save the market. They're desperate. This is a nice bearish wedge, textbook bearish wedge for people that chart pattern trade, that should break down at any moment. If this is a bearish wedge, we should break down and get to 570 and 568 for the first big impulse off this low, coming down in a B wave, and the indices, and again breaking this high, coming all the way back down to 490, 480, and then the market could find support again on the trend line, and then come back and make another high and top out, crash later. That's what I think is going to happen. But you got this big pullback, I think, on the horizon. Big pullback coming, and that's what I think is going to happen. So I'll go into your guys' super chats, because I'm getting a lot of them, and I'll go into it, and I'll probably cover other topics in the market right now for you as I go through the super chats. So I'll start with Tina. Go through your super chats. Thanks always. And we'll take a look at everybody's here. So let me go into our request list. And crypto is going crazy. We were leaning bullish all the time off that one low. Is playing out, and like I said, if it's a wave 3 grand super cycle, you don't want to sell right now. You don't want to do anything for another 8 to 10 months at least. You just want to go trade other things and let's stay long. That's what you want to do if this is a wave 3 grand super cycle. But is it a wave 3 or is it a wave 5? We don't know, and we'll look at. I'm sure we'll look at that later. Okay, so Uber, I have been trading this a little bit. And so we had a nice dip buy here for 1-2, and then we came up, and this looks like a 3-wave move for me. So I was kind of keeping an eye on this here, and I see only 3 waves. So this has a chance to be a much bigger correction in a 3-3-5, And with the break of this low right here, that confirmed it. So this box here would have created a potential wave 5, and it failed. So I have to be looking for a flat pattern in wave 2 is going to do a flat to come back to retest this low. But as I've mentioned with flats, if we've broken the high, it's a shakeout that will survive. And people will sell it in a panic only to see it in a year or two trading over $100, and they'll be really sad. But this looks like a flat situation developing as we speak, with the first wave done from this low. Something like this is what I'm thinking. And now wave 1 is done. And then we get something like this. It could see 77 on this wave 2. It could see that. So it is in a wave 2. Here's your wave 4 cluster right here. So it could easily come back up and tag 77 and then turn lower. More than likely when the market really pukes in its wave 3 down, and that leg that I believe is coming to the downside. A, B, C, lower into this area, and then the complete a major consolidation here to really get this ready for wave 3. Okay, red cat. I have to see if I can find this symbol. You'll have to throw the symbol in there. I don't know what symbol that is. I'll go to EL, Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder finishing up this 5th wave. If I look at it just real quick, it looks like you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it's finished. Again, you know, there's no perfect spot to, you know, it's so hard to time the bottom. But we could look at the RSIs and see if there's any signs. Clearly, it's a wave 5. There's no weekly cycle break yet. The daily cycle has broken this leg. So this leg is over. So this is over. This 5 is over. So can it still go deeper? It can. So as long as you're above $62, more upside is expected. And in fact, it could be the major low. The major low. Let's look at higher time frame divergences on the monthly. So the monthly does have no divergence erased. It took out everything, and the weekly is just showing the wave 5. Here, let's take a look one more time at this 3 connector 3. So it would be better to have that weekly cycle also reset, but because it's such a higher degree correction, it may not allow that to happen. So that's why I would just trade it long off of this low, and if that low holds, just go with it. If it breaks, then you know you're going to get a capitulation move, and then this was like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it will capitulate. But it's obviously this whole thing's over here. It could even retrace all the way back up to 103, 110, and still see more downside later. As long as the weekly cycle is below this trend line, the bear market continues. But if we could break the weekly, then the bear market is over in this stock. Okay, MDB 1 here, and it's turning off of the low, off of this box that I gave after earnings. It did a flat, and this is a classic why the flats are so treacherous, because that earnings meltdown, and now we're building off of that low here. It looks like we have 5 up on that a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it looks like it's about to turn the corner on it's about to turn the corner, and something like this. You know, it could be this pullback and then out. It's a lot. There's a couple ways to label this, but see, there's only three here, so I would kind of just be conservative, label it this way. Yeah, see with the divergence, and then assume you'll get another one. You'll get something like that. Now, if you look, there's an A, B, C. So there's also a possibility that it is a corrective move like that. And the bear market would continue in the WXY, which would be lights out, game over for this company. So this low has to hold at 211, but more importantly, you can't have it. You'll need this to continue, so you really need it to hold this pivot here at 252 to be bullish. So as long as it's above 252, it should continue higher. If it breaks 252, it's in danger of the corrective move and breaking this low and having a wipeout. So we'll just kind of label it like this. All right, let me see if you reply back to the red cat. Red cat. I don't see it. So yeah, if you could reply back to the red cat symbol, I'll do that. All right, popcorn tuna. I'll go to Algo. All right, Algo here. Algo. All right, Algo is. Let's take a look. Looks like we've got. Could we still be in B here? Only in 3. So I look at this as a couple things. We did break this low, so we're probably still in a connector. So it's going to go higher. Probably take that peak out, and this leg will come eventually. So it's a connector wave that extended in a flat pattern. So I would be looking for something like this. And it could see 52 cents, 52.5 cents as this finishes something like that. And that looks like it's in a 3. A lot of these altcoins are going to start to run as Bitcoin kind of takes a breather, I think. Obviously, right? You could see that across crypto right now. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, thanks for the super chat, Popcorn Tuna, Alex, AMC. So, yeah, AMC, GME kind of go together for me. And GME is just the chart's just been playing out, right? We trusted the chart. We ignored the news and just trusted the chart. And because we trusted the chart, everything's working out. So as you see, GME, I got to relabel GME, but I'll go to AMC real quick and see where we are with that. Here. So we did call the bottom exactly. Like, guys, we called this on my channel, the bottom. We said it, so it's over. And slowly, the bulls are starting to take control of this market again, finally. And you have a higher high. So I see more upside in the future coming. Let's look at the 4-hour. Take a look. So you got some bearish divergence. To me, this is probably a 1-2 right there, like a quick 1-2 right there. You know, boom, and then another 1-2. I'm breaking this high. So got a couple possibilities happening here in AMC. It looks like 5 off the low. If it is, then it's a one. It's this. Okay, it's that. If it's not, and I'm not looking at it right, then it's a flat pattern, where you'll do an A, a B, and a C, and it will come back to retest this area again in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it has to hold this level now. It's gotta hold this low right here. It's gotta hold $4, 401. So, I look at it. I'm just gonna label what I think I see, and what I see is this right now. This is what I see. That's what I see right now in front of me. And because of the break of the high, I would expect it to go at least higher. And let's look at the bigger cycles. We can erase some of this. Let's not, clean up our chart a little bit. There and there. All right. So cleaning up the chart. Clearly, this whole correction's over, right? On the daily cycle. And then how about the weekly cycle? Here. You broke. And look, inverse head and shoulders on the RSI on the weekly. Look, the weekly is overdue for a pump. Look at that. It's overdue. It's overdue. It's overdue. So, yeah, I think it's got something coming. Now, when the weekly cycle breaks up, RSI is at the overbought area, then this move will be over. But the question is, where will the price be when that happens? Are we going to get a wick something like this? Or are we going to get like a mega wick? We don't know. And I still have my target way up here. Wouldn't that be something if we hit it, right? A lot of people didn't think that could be possible. But we're starting to build out. So the bulls are starting to recontrol the market here. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, if we break 4... this is kind of a connector for this big move down. So the new level of support would be, again, if it breaks here, it doesn't like 379, 350. So if this is a connector, it could see just a quick flash crash down. So we'll have to look for that possibility and then come out here. So I'll just draw that. But I would definitely have stop losses if it did that. Something like really sharp. It comes down, takes this peak out, boom, and then it can run as a final shakeout. It's still possible to do that until we make one more high. We have to take this peak out because it's still only 3 swings up, which could still be a corrective move. So that's kind of AMC, but there's a lot going for you that says it's not corrective because of the divergence at the top. So good luck on that chart, and I believe it's trying to make a turn. We're trying to make a turn in AMC. Okay, guys, let's go for Anonymous. Big super chat, man. Always appreciate your super chats. Yeah, I just let the charts speak to me. The charts speak to me, and I translate what I see without emotion or bias. And again, actually, a lot of people don't like what I have to say because it goes against their way of thinking or their, the paradigm. But it always tends to play out. Not all the time, but most of the time, these things are playing out. And I think the biggest call is going to be this indice pullback. That's going to be a big call because a lot of people are super bullish right now. Santa rally. Everyone's saying, oh, the Santa rally's coming. Seasonality. I don't care about seasonality. I don't care about the Santa rally. Screw the Santa rally. Those are things they made up to get people to buy stocks in the Christmas season. That's all it is. It's just they make up these things so people buy stocks. And they take your money and bring it into the casino, and they can take it. There's Santa rally to me is just nonsense stuff, nonsense talk, and we don't trade on the Santa rally news. I care less about a Santa rally. All right, let's go to Intel. Intel, a lot of these, I can't look at every stock all the time, so I don't even know like how it's been doing. I do remember, I think the last what I thought was going to happen with it, and we'll have to take a look at what happened. And let's see here, where are we? So we peaked out here. It looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it morphed into a different structure, or let's just take a bigger step back. What it is we're in this wave 3. We're in that wave 3. That's what we're in. It's just, this is a tight impulse. So this 3 and 4 is just a tight impulse. And then we're in this wave 4. So I think we'll have one more high. I think there's one more high before something really, really bad's going to happen. So one more high, I'm thinking, in Intel. When can it happen? Well, you see that erasure divergence. It may have already truncated. It may have already bottomed on this 4th wave. But I'd like to see that one more high here. Because if you look at this pattern, you really need 5 waves off the low. And we only have 3 off the low, which is normally a corrective pattern. But since it's flat, we need 5 waves. So we do need one more high with bearish divergence here. So I would be looking for that. You can watch that trend line. Perhaps it'll turn into a bear flag, right? So kind of what it looks like to me, right? Kind of like a bear flag. So yeah, maybe that bear flag needs to play out more, like that, like that. Something like that, maybe. Could be a textbook like bear flag type thing, and bam. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking with Intel. Mara, let's take a look at Mara here. So we got, I think we have some wave 3s about to become born in crypto. Let's take a look. So Mara, we have the 1, 2, and we have 5 up now with a bearish divergence. A lot of 5 ups in crypto on the cycle since whether it's September or October, early October. So you would think this would be looking for a pullback. Now this wave 5 does have bearish divergence here, right here, and you see that peak. That peak. So I would be careful chasing Mara here, guys. The first sign would be if it could take out this 5 peak. Now Mara could pump and take this out, then you could see an extension in a 1, 2, 1, 2. But right now I would be looking for a wave 5 to kind of come to an end soon, if not already. And then I wonder, did that peak? We did not take that out. So let me go back to regular trading here. So just looking at it, I actually think it's more upside in 5. Just looking at it, because this whole cycle ended right here, right there, and it made a new high. So actually it's a couple things. It's a couple possibilities. Wave 5 could have topped already, but it's not. It didn't exceed this high. So yeah, you can't even say that. So I guess you call the extension in 5. So I think wave 5 has more upside, and you'll need to watch to see if the divergence is erased or not. If the divergence is erased, then it's off to the races. And again, you don't want to trade it. You just hold it. Go trade something. Go find another sector to trade. Just hold your positions. But if it does keep divergence and this can finish an impulse, you're going to get a big pullback at some point. That should pull back all the way back down to 17, I think. Again. before the moon boy. So this is the I call it the likely path, but you can't rule out the other path where it's just already gonna moon boy. This would also kind of start to form like a reversal. So I'll just leave it at this for now. I think you have more upside in wave 5, and then a massive pullback, which I think a lot of crypto will eventually do, right? Bitcoin will need to correct this move, and you'll get this pullback, which could easily come back to 17 again. Okay. Riot. Let's see. Riot. I think we called the exact low on my channel to the penny. So that one worked out. Nice 5-wave move up. Here, though, no divergence. Let's look at the 45-minute. No divergence, or barely. Barely. So that's not enough divergence. So it's not impulsive. So we're looking at We're looking at 2 cycles. 1, 2, 1, 2, and you see the ratio of divergence on that little shakeout right there. So I'm going to lean bullish. Now, this could be a corrective pattern. I mean, I'm not, like I said, you can't rule this out. It could still be an ABC. And it'll go down and break this low and go to new lows. It could technically do that. It could do that. So you can't be too bullish. Obviously, Mars is more bullish than Riot. But I would say that my thinking is we're probably in this type of, we're doing this, we'll do that, or it's something like this here. And again, it may have truncated. It may have already bottomed. I'm going to lean toward the more bullish count given what rest of crypto is doing. But this is one that's kind of tricky because it does have this is a perfect corrective structure. Look, a perfect look from a corrective structure. So it could easily come back down. I think this one's has more risk, but with it more reward, right? If you're right on the bullish side. More risk, but more reward. And clearly this I think is, yeah, still in the downtrend. So that's why it could still be corrective. It could still be a corrective move here. Anyway, that's how I look at the Riot. Hut is finishing up another X wave before one more Y. And that looks like it could be over here. Although it didn't really go deep enough because you should be, let's see where we're at. Okay, we're just correcting that. So yeah, maybe it is done. Let's take another look. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. One, two, three, four. Yeah, it's this one's a little bit more complicated because it's moving up in 3 and not 5. There's your one cycle right there. There's your connector. There's your cycle 1, and then there's your next cycle right here. The RSI is above, so they're 2 different cycles. It didn't correct the whole cycle, so I'll label it like this. The other alternative is if we come back down and take out 2255, then you have to look at this as like a WXY, and this is a larger degree X. I'll give there'll be a dip buy opportunity for that if it were to happen. And that, whoops, let me go back and do that again. At 2055, 1914 in this area. So that's not what I expect will happen. I don't expect that to happen, but if it does, then it would be corrected this whole move. Big W, big X, and then Y would go even higher. But this is what I have right now, and then when this is finished, then you'll have a massive correction, right? Because you'll be correcting then the whole thing, all the way back from $6, which again, guys, on my channel, if you're new to me, we called the buys here and here and here and here. So we called all those buys. Now look where it's trading, $25. You could have bought it at $6 three different times. So this is why you need to, guys, you need to follow me and really like watch these live streams, because there's so many people out there telling you to do the wrong thing. And right now, the right thing will actually be to sell at some point up here, if not sooner. It may not, maybe it makes it here. So, but once this move is over, you'll get a big correction, and then it'll keep do it all over again. So that's where HUD is. MicroStrategy was one that is just in this massive blow off 5 that I believe has now come to an end. There was a day trade dip buy that I kept for my own. This was my own entertainment, right? I put an order in at 370, a market buy at 370, and I didn't get filled, but I was close. I was close. I knew it would come out. It would jump the box, but I missed it by $1, so it's frustrating. But this was a classic 3-wave pullback. Here's your wave 4, so this would have been the right area for the bounce. So we got the bounce, but since it's a wave 5, it should take another swing lower. So there's a new if this low holds here, there'll be a new dip buy opportunity in MicroStrategy. And that would be at 280, 239 in this area. I think it's traded way over its net asset value. If you look at the value of, if you look at the amount of Bitcoin it holds compared to the price it's traded in Bitcoin, and look at the market cap of the stock, it's trading at, three times that. So it's overvalued for whatever reason. Here's your wave 4, 2. This would be a perfect 280. I guess a gap here. This is perfect. I did draw a little bit of a trend line here. You also have trend line support. This could form a larger bottom to allow a whole new cycle to be born. Because right now I believe we're correcting the whole thing. But once we get down this deep, well, we can look at the RSIs. And again, look at all the bearish divergence here, right? A lot of bearish divergence. But at some point, that cycle will get corrected. And when it does, then it could create a whole new cycle higher. So I do like to buy it. Now that we know it's broken out like it has, and it's clear it's a bullish instrument. So I do like to buy it if it could come back down here. If you were lucky enough and got filled at the 371, 370 area, then I would just hold that long, but stop out at 370 if it breaks it. And then see what happens. There's always a possibility, since it is Grand Super Cycle, you get something like this for one more leg lower to this wave 4 cluster, $80. That would be it's a possibility, but I do believe if we do make another leg lower here, you'll get a really good trade or bounce play, or the low. That's what I'm thinking. But I would never short it anymore. There's no more short. The short opportunity is over. It was over before it even started. It just kind of was a straight down crash correction. And like I said, there was a box here. You could have anticipated the buy. I personally was a few dollars off of that buy. I was just looking for a trade. I was looking for exactly what just happened here to dump it. And that's what investors are doing, because I do think it's got one more leg lower. That should happen. I'll be surprised if it pushes out of this. That means Bitcoin is mooning. That's what it's got to be. Bitcoin is going beyond 120, 100, and investors are being left behind. But if we could drop here, that would be pretty healthy. because then you'll be back to almost net asset value where this thing should be trading anyway. All right, so did it erase divergence? 120 still possible. It's possible, but it's not. This to me here. Hold on one second. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, so to me, this is much more likely. This box at some point in the future gets tagged, but to have the double correction where it fails another swing, I say 30 to 20% chance. 30 to 20% chance. I think this is pretty likely. Now, it may not just come straight down. It may do a lot of consolidation here in day trader battles, but I think they'll get a capitulation move down into this area some point. So maybe 280 is likely. 120, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it is the wave 4. It is the end of the grand super cycle here, or the main, not the super cycle degree, not the grand, because it traded in the .com era. So it could see 120. It could see actually 80. It could see these levels one more time, but that would probably be 12 to 18 months from now. That will probably be at the end of the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, right? If you believe in that 4-year cycle. This may be where it comes back. This may finish out and run, and then maybe the next 4-year cycle bear market low. This will come back and tag this area, 120 again. But you'll have to go through. You have to wait the whole cycle all over again. All right. Bitcoin. Let's look at how Bitcoin has been trading. Of course, yeah, we should look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is finding some resistance. You know, I've been kind of charting it myself. It looks like this wave 5 should be coming to an end pretty soon for a bigger pullback in 4 and one more high. I believe this high will break the 100,000 barrier. And then when this high is over, we'll get a big correction again. Either back down like this, something like that, or like we've talked about, this goes into where are we on the bigger picture of Bitcoin. So I have us in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what I'll have. 1, 2, 1, 2, moon. Now, some people don't have that do Elliott waves. They have it as a 1, 2, but they call this a 3, 4, 5. 5. They'll say this whole thing is going to correct. If that's the case, if this is a 5, this should come all the way back down to somewhere around 55,000 and maybe as low as 47, 45,000. Seems impossible given the bullishness that it could ever do that. So what we need to look for is what's divergence doing. So let's look at the higher time frames. We start with the daily, and you still have bearish divergence. So here's your if this is a 3, well, that's the peak. You haven't taken it out. So that scenario I just said is in play still. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is still in play on the daily. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly is still in play. Look at that bearish divergence. This could be a wave 5. This could be a massive bull trap right now. Still on the higher time frame. The shorter time frame, maybe not. But the higher time frame, it could be trapping a lot of people. If this bearish divergence continues, the monthly, we have bearish divergence. And we're close to the peak. The 4-hour cycle on Bitcoin, let's take a look. Obviously, your 3 of 3. There's your 5. It is finding sellers. It wants to reset the 4-hour cycle, which would be this wave 4. And then it could make one more high with even more bearish divergence. The daily cycle also showing divergence, showing we're in a 5. So my guess, just based on it, this is my label right now. I believe this is what I believe. I believe that, yes, this will pull back hard. But I think it will stay above 70,000 on this pullback. I believe it's a 1-2, 1-2 out. But if we come back under this high, I believe at whatever this high is here, 74 here, there's a danger the more bearish patterns in play, and it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll come back down, you know, bounce and fail, and then tag these lower areas, and we moon later. So we don't, unfortunately, no one can predict the future. We don't know. We know that we haven't erased divergence. So your question is, have we? We haven't. So that scenario is still in play. And this would be a false breakout of this pattern. It would be it would be a massive bull trap. There'll be so much panic of so many trap buyers, so much leveraged traders right now, even really big whales levered. And perhaps the market needs that kind of shakeout. So maybe, you know, maybe we get that shakeout. But on this pullback, whatever this pullback is, whether it comes back to 76, 74, or we go to 52, 48, it won't matter whether you bought it here or here when you're traded at $500,000-$600,000 a coin. And it's clear that's where we're going. I mean, look, guys, look at where we're going. So it isn't going to matter at some point, you're just going to have to dollar cost average in and not try to be so cute with wondering where I need to buy it. Because the market can leave you behind. We're at that point in the cycle, if it's a wave 3 grand super cycle that we're trying to build out of. But this is the count I've got. So, you know, I'll say even the short, you know, for real day traders, you could see on the 45-minute, there's your 3, and you have your divergence here. So it looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be 4. Maybe we're still in this 5. But as you can see, it's coming to an end, and it may actually have already ended here. So this 3 may already be in. So I spent a lot of time on Bitcoin because that is where the action is right now, right? That's where the action is. That's where the traders are right now. But it does seem like we should get this sequence needs another high. Now, can I be off by a swing? I can always be off by a swing. So when would we know this whole cycle is over? We'll go to the daily at least and watch it, and we need to see the daily cycle break. And you're far above it, right? You're so far above the daily cycle break. That's not really, to me, enough bearish divergence. It would be nice to pull back, make another high in Bitcoin with even more bearish divergence, and then the daily cycle can break, and this can top. This will probably top around, looks like January-ish time frame, right? We have this pullback going into December. Maybe the holidays, people get bullish again. Maybe we do get some Santa rally in crypto at least, and then that's it. And then we go into a winter crypto bear market for, you know, another reset into April. That's what this chart is telling me right now for crypto. That's what it's telling me. But all that is negated if we erase the divergences I showed you earlier. If you start to do that, it could just keep extending. And once that happens, you don't really want to do anything with your core positions at that point, and just let this thing play out. Okay, G-Sol again, we called that buy. We called that buy, and it bounced like really nicely on it. Look at that, we called that. And I have no idea what the premium is on this thing. So God knows what you're paying for it. But if you're just looking at the chart, you know, it's a buy against 137 right now. If we could get this wave 3 out, something like that. And then BCHG tagged our buy area on Friday, and it bounced. So that should be done. So again, this again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, guys, but I was calling bullish in crypto, but like Anonymous said, he asked me or she asked me to do this a week or so ago, and I said, but this looks bearish. This is going to come back down. I don't know why, but look, it sure as hell did. It did. So these charts are working out. So this was a counter trend call. So it wasn't just like, okay, I'm bullish, I'm just going to be bullish on everything. So this wasn't. I was not bullish on this, and we actually were bearish, and we got that capitulation, and and there it is. There's the turn, right there, right where we want it to be, and we got the reset on the 4-hour. So this is it. It's a moment of truth. It's the moment of truth. All right, and then wick down to your buy area. It sure did, to the penny, to the penny. All right, LTCN was another one we called. Like here, we got the buy here in this area, and we come off this low. This one's a little more difficult because it could be this, something like that, wonky. But let's look at that. See, that's a big reset. So this only moved in 3 waves. This only moved in 3 waves. Let's go to a 15-minute time frame. We have to look at just to see. Yeah, see, there's not a lot of bearish divergence. This is a corrective pattern. This is a corrective pattern. So I'm gonna be more conservative about what I'm labeling here. And you'll have to decide how you want to do it, but I think this is a 3-wave move, and then a 3-wave move, and then this is in no man's land. This looks like 3 again. So this chart is very, very difficult to try to label. Let's see. Yeah. Let's give you my guess. Just looking at it here. Yeah, 3. There's your 4 and 2, right? See, we never got deep enough. We never got to 1121. I wonder if this will tag 1121 as this thing jumps around here. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that. And we'll get rid of this for now, and we'll say it's just something like this. Right? So if this is going to be valid, we look for this peak we can't take out 1790. And if we're below that peak, once we break 1455, then this is in play. And I do believe, I'm looking at this in a lot of different ways here. This looks like some kind of triangle B wave. And if that's the case, you want to see it below 17. Something like that. It's very tough. This is very tough. I would say this forecast is tough to nail because you're in, if you look, you're in a connector wave within a connector wave. So it's one of the worst, hardest areas to forecast and predict, but I just do the best I can. I think this is what we'll end up seeing, and I'll just kind of draw my box, and maybe ultimately we'll head down into this area here. I guess we could forecast the buy area here because of because of the way it looks. Look at that, 1150, right where I had the box, right there. So right there. So that's a buy. So that's where I would be looking for it. It may just have too much premium. That may be the reason. It's just too. It's. I think this is trading at like $1,400 a Litecoin or something crazy like that. See, investors don't know. Like mom and pop 401k guys, they look at that and go, oh shit, I could buy Litecoin for $16. Oh, I'll buy it. It's trading at 60 or 100, and they don't know. They just naive. They don't know that's not how it works. You're only getting like 0.01 Litecoin per share, and you gotta like do the math. So always do the math on these because the premium always goes back to 1 to 1. If it's trading 3x, 4x, or in some cases 10x, it's gonna revert back at some point, and you're kind of naive to do a buy and hold. Now you could trade it, sure, trade it, fine, but if you're gonna buy and hold the grayscale stuff, don't do it when the NAV is at 5x the value of the coin. When you could just go to Coinbase and buy it yourself. You know what I mean? So that's what I tell you. Now, there was one grayscale product out there that's almost at NAV that I was surprised to see that no one's trading. Zcash, the Zcash one. I throw that out on my channel here. It did hit the buy area right here, and it's been supported. It looks like a 1, 2, as long as it's above $3. It could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be ready for an explosive move, as long as it stays above 3. So this is I call it trade opportunity coming off. It's off everyone's radar. No one's trading it, and the NAV is actually good. It's not. There's almost no NAV. It's almost 1 to 1. So that's something that's out there that hasn't pumped. I guess is being quietly accumulated since November 22. So it's been accumulated for almost 2 years without a major move. So I think just keep an eye on that. Now that grayscale product's interesting to me. These other ones aren't. Like G-Link, I love Link coin, but I'm not trading. This is so over premium. Like I don't want nothing to do with this product. But sometimes they are. All right, I think I got through most of your questions. One more, MIGI. MIGI, how's that going here? Again, a 1, 2, 1, 2. So we did break this low. So coming off of it, we only have 3 waves, and we broke the low. This could be 5 down. Let's look at the RSI and see how that is looking. Could be a couple things here. Let's see here. 1, 2. So yeah, see the RSI broke that low. So this is the same cycle. So we'll have to be looking for a flat correction, or it could be a run-in flat and already end it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's what I'll go with for now. So as long as you're above a 162, I believe you got to watch out for the run-in flat scenario. And it looks something like this, where you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The break of this trend line would confirm that's the case. And let's see on the daily RSI, the weekly. Let's go to the daily. So you see the fifth. So we see the 5th wave here, but you see the cycle took this peak out. So this is a whole cycle here, the whole cycle. So yeah, I would label it this way. You can't rule out though, if it does come back down and take out 161, then it could do the more classic flat pattern where you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it comes back down to 132. But ultimately, in the future, it should be higher. No matter what happens here, this is the day trader, battle. Day trader battling out. This is the day traders. Let them battle it out. Let them crash it, whatever. But I believe in the future, it will be in the $2 plus area, and something like that right now. That's the label I have right now. All right, got through all your stuff. Thanks again for the big super chat, Joe. All right, I'll go into AAOI for you here. Let's take a look at AAOI. Oops, and go to right requests here. Applied Electronics. So looks like we finished this fifth wave. Looking for this 3 to end, but we could have erased divergence with an extension. No, we haven't. Look, see that? So we got a applied divergence. So this is a extended fifth wave that's should be about to come to an end. You see it on the 45. The daily shows you're in this third wave. So you should see more upside, but at some point you're gonna have a pullback, and the pullback could be pretty nasty because sometimes you lose the whole wave 5 on the pullback. So this pullback that's coming, you could actually lose this whole move, come all the way back down to 26 even, but I do see a pullback that's developing, and it looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but in 5 you only have 3. So you may get one more high, marginal high, but it's tough to time it exactly. But it should be coming to an end pretty soon with this chart. But more upside should happen on the higher time frames. Okay, Anonymous, thanks again. Let's go back to your super chat. Litecoin. Yeah, Litecoin has been, like I said, all these altcoins will move if Bitcoin is going to consolidate, especially if it's a wave 4. So let's take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin, I have it in a fifth wave that's finishing up here off the low, bearish divergence. You do have bearish divergence here on the 45 minute with that little burst higher at the end, that little burst to 106. 1, 2. You know, there's a chance you could still be in wave 5 though. Like, you don't have confirmation the cycle's over. So I think you just have to assume the cycle's going to extend until you get the confirmation that it isn't over. So there's no reason to think it's over. Now, what's interesting is see how that 3 did not take out this peak. So there's a good probability that you're going to get an extension. And so I'm going to label it a little bit more bullish because of that. Oh wait, never mind. It's because it's in 3 waves. If you look, we're only moving in 3 and 3. So yeah, I bet you'll get one more high in wave 5 here, and then that should be it. You see how you get this pullback and high, a pullback and higher here. You should get a pullback and one more high, and then a pullback back down to 74 for more upside. Something like that. All right, and then Bitcoin Cash. Again, it's in a wave 5 as well. That looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one, again, you see how wave 3 hasn't taken out the wave 1 peak. This could be, this could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2. So this one I'm going to go a little more bullish on because we saw the Grayscale product found the low, right? But Litecoin, we didn't find the low. So I think this will sync up with that forecast. Something like that. A little more bullish. And then this looks like 5 up here. And then we pull back to maybe 468. And then it's a vertical launch. It goes vertical. That's the setup. That's the setup right here in Bitcoin Cash. 499, you know, ideally 464. And then vertical price action. Now look, you see you have 3 waves here on that pullback. Higher peak here. So really it's not really even a wave 5. Let's go to the 4-hour. Okay, yeah, so you do have that. So you're still, yeah, this could even be even more bullish. It could be a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 even. So I'm just gonna label it this way for now. I think it's more bullish. And clearly we're trying to break out. If you look at the fractal nature of this coin, it tends to have very vertical moves when they move. You know, going through history. So when it moves, it pretty much goes vertical. I believe taking out 718 will create that spike. Now, see, it is under pressure on this resistance line with that wick. Let's see if there's a buy area, a trader's area to try to buy it. You know, play for that possibility. So it already tagged it at 500. See it exactly and wicked. So there's a chance that it's already bottomed here in this wave 2. But actually, if it did, I would make it a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. But if it could bounce and fail, then it's a bigger 1-2 down to 457 and out. So this is one you want to keep an eye on. This is one you want to keep an eye on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So good luck trading it. I think this is the more conservative view, if you want to call it that, the more conservative view. But you guys will have to decide how you want to do it. Can you get price targets for BCHG, LTCN? I always like to do that. I could do that, but I always like to say that what I meant to say is what I like to say is I never worry about price targets. I let the market decide for me. But you can kind of see bigger picture. You have a big WXY, a big WXY. You should see $34, $36. BCHG, if this is right, and I can be wrong, and you should never be traded for those following me that are new to me. You never trade about what you can make. You always trade about what you can lose. I don't care what I can make. When I go into a trade, I don't give a shit. Is AMC going to go to $30, $100? I don't give a shit where it's going. All I care about is where I stop out, how much am I willing to risk and lose. And then I let the market, I just stay in it until the market tells me it's time to leave it. When pivots break, then you stop out and you leave the market. And then you sidestep, those landmines. That's how I trade. I don't worry about how high it can go. Or like that's not the first thing. So I just, for people that are new that don't know like how I trade or you think like that, you need to not think like that. But there is a target I do have in mind, because I'm not, the analysis could still apply to the upside as well as the downside. So the upside is 35, 37 on BCHG. Let's see LTCN. That one we had to change the structure on. But we're still looking for $70, $65 on this. Again, 3-wave move here to finish the bigger Y. MicroStrategy I have not looked at in that sense, so we'll have to do that together. MicroStrategy's chart goes all the way back to the .com era. It's hard. If you look at the .com era, there's a couple ways to predict where it will end up. You could look at the fractal nature of the move, where you see where it had its first peak and then it pulled back and it had the final peak, and you could try to do a fib extension, which has got to be, God knows, it's got to be what, at the 16,618. So if I apply the same logic to MicroStrategy, I'd look at the first peak would be here, this would be the peak, and I would do a 1618 extension off of that. And, again, this goes into dreamland. That's $5,477. That would probably be Bitcoin, what, at 1 million probably, right? That'd be a 10 times where Bitcoin. So Bitcoin hits $1 million. That's probably where MicroStrategy's trading, somewhere up in that area. And that probably, understanding the fractal nature of these moves, that'd probably be game over for MicroStrategy's strategy, because then something will go wrong, terribly wrong, and they'll probably go out of existence. They'll mismanage their balance sheet somehow, and then they'll have to reinvent themselves. But hey, right now it's good times. Feel good about it. So that's why, when it pulls back down, if it pulls back, I will want to be a buyer of it. I do like it a lot. right here at 280. This was just a gamble trade, but 280 is a nice area to get long it to see if something more more insane will happen. But that's the only way I could talk about the target in MicroStrategy, because there's no other way to really pinpoint it. You could try another safer target approach where you could do the top of 5, the bottom of this impulse, and let's say it bottomed here at 370. The next area would be 1,000. That'd bring MicroStrategy to 1,000 if it bottomed at 370. But we would need to take out 560, this high, to confirm that low, and that will confirm the extension to 1,000. But right now we don't have that. Right now it is in a bear market. It is peaked. It's clearly peaked, right? It's going to take a lot of effort to get it back over 556. If Bitcoin pulls back to 78, 80, I bet MicroStrategy's at 280. I bet that's what it is. All right, Thomas, Hang Seng Index. Let's go to your request to Hang Seng Index here. You guys, that's another one I got right on my channel. I told you not to FOMO into China. I told you guys not to listen to some billionaire on TV telling you to buy. Anytime someone says put your everything in to something, you know that is one, emotional trade-in, and two, that is the wrong thing to ever say and do. But that's what they paraded people on CNBC, this guy, to do, and it ended up being the absolute worst thing to do. But I'm looking for 18,621. Then we don't know, because you got 3 and 3. Perhaps it runs to 24.5 and gets the trend line rejection, or it impulses. Now, if it impulses down like that, then this is in. This tops in, and then it's going, and it'll bounce. It'll do something like this, and then at some point in the Trump administration, it's going to have a lights out moment all the way down to 8,000. So ultimately, I believe the Hang Seng is screwed. But where we are in the trade, I do believe there's a trade opportunity coming on the long side here. And I would be interested in long positions in China when we're trading in this area again after this big decline for relief rally at least. Okay. Floyd's Garage. Let's go to your question here. DD. DuPont. Looks like we called that as a 1-2-1-2. We broke the high. It's playing out nicely. So I don't think there's any reason to change it. Now that looks like 3 up here, but we broke the high. So yeah, you have to be more bullish on it. You have to call this. Yeah, this is about to have a wave 3 move out. So this is very bullish. It's a very easy chart to label, in my opinion. I would be looking to buy dips, buy pullbacks in this. Okay, Trade Desk. Yeah, Trade Desk, I was never convinced to chase it here, but it is, you have to respect the breakout. So the market, again, market is insane, more insane, right? But let's see where we are with Trade Desk, topping out in C with a massive flat that will stun traders. Let's take a look. This is a very complicated correction to label, but this is how I labeled it. Let's take a look at it. 3 waves down, A, and then you have 3 waves up, B, and then a wipeout wave, C. Now this could be an expanded flat. C could truncate at 57, 60, but I'm looking, and this syncs up with the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ's about to get annihilated, so I do believe this syncs up nicely with the NASDAQ drop. And then I do think this will be supported for a lot of upside in the future. Just how, when is it the time of the turn? I think it turns when the NASDAQ turns. And if you look at the C leg, perhaps you need one more high to finish 5 waves here. Yeah, one more high. So perhaps it can make one more high. Um, one more high. I'll get rid of this. So that's what I'm looking for. Something like that. And expand. I'm thinking expanded flat pullback. But I think you time the buy and trade desk when the Nasdaq has pulled back on its major cycle correction that I think is it could already be in or is about to go into. Now, a classic flat pattern would take this all the way back down to like 33, 31, somewhere down here. That would be the classic, but it'd be a historic opportunity to buy it if it had, you know, it'd be like a massive like chance. Yeah, this I don't think will get hit, but something really bad's coming. I think I don't see this mooning and being in a wave 3 with the Nasdaq forecasted, which my forecast is to pull back, right? If the Nasdaq is finished 5 and we're going to pull back, why would trade desk moon? It won't. So either Nasdaq will pull back to, like I said, 390 and then run and extend 5, blow off top. Trade desk will run and do the same thing. If the grand super cycle is over, well then, and then the Nasdaq drops all the way back down to 200, well then, yeah, trade desk is going to 33, the $30 target. So good luck with that. All right, Meta Menace, Baba, Neo, Lemonade. So with the Hang Seng forecast, we can't get too bullish on Baba, but it does seem like it would bounce soon, right? It's going to bounce soon. It should bounce soon. So we called this trap, and it was a trap. And we, again, did not buy into the trap. And we're in this wave 3 right now. It looks like we're in this third wave still. We need to finish this impulse. This impulse probably will finish when the Hang Seng hits its target area and that I have. And then either it'll find a major low or it will sadly break this low. We just don't know. But I think it's got more downside. It's clearly got more downside. But when the Hang Seng hits that buy area I showed earlier, this is susceptible to a relief rally and potentially even a bottom in this wave 2. But I think it's too soon. It's still too soon. It looks too soon. Neo, kind of the same thing. 5, we had 5 up, extended 5th. We have 5 down here, A, B, and a connector. That could be the low right there at 430. So this is interesting. So we're looking for this 2 to finish. And it's finished. So yeah, so this, to me, this cycle is over. This 2's probably in already right here. Looking at AMC, looking at this, looking at some of the other, I wonder if it's about to get, we're about to get like some meme stock, growth stock, like buying action coming, pumping action. Yeah, let's just take a step back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless, yeah, I would have to call it. Maybe I don't have all the data here, but let's see. See, that's a lot of divergence there. That's what I was afraid of. This is just 3 down. All right, we're still in a connector wave. Sadly, it's going to do something like this, I think. It's not. I don't think it's the low anymore. I think it's a different look. I think it's a different look. Something like that. And it may have already formed a connector here. Yeah, this is probably the better way to label it. like that. And let's see if we could get a buy area on this. That would break the low. So that's not good. So you basically, you have to hold this low. You need to hold the low, and you need to erase this 4-hour divergence. So that when that happens, then possibly you got the 2. It does look like you have a new cycle though. So this is tough because so I'm showing this pattern, but there's also another pattern where it's this, where it's something like this, and you do this, you do something like that. So there's also this possibility too. You're just gonna have to do what's best for you on this. This is tough, but I mean, as long as you're above this low at 361, it should continue higher. It should. Now, if you break this low, then what this was an impulse, and then this was just a connector wave. So we just formed a massive connector wave, and essentially this will be go down to a single-digit stock, $1 or lower. All right, Lemonade. Let's see here. Let's take a look at LMND, Lemonade. All right, Lemonade, I think we called this pump about to happen here. So we needed a 3, a 4, and a 5. So it looks like obviously we're in the wave 3 mode. And we did a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And we're still in 3. Why is this so bullish? What happened? I have to understand 1, 2, 3, 4. So probably we're close to that wave 3 ending, right? No divergence though. A little bit on the 45-minute, but that's probably a wave 4. So yeah, it's actually still in the it's still in an extension mode. Still in extension mode. Yeah, and this is another 1, 2 right here. See, this is what happens with these Elliott waves. They can just keep extending. You see all those 4s and 5s. So I would just be looking to buy the dip when you can, when there's an opportunity. So there could be a dip buy opportunity here, possibly. I'll give the buy area. There's no guarantee it's going to happen, but it would be at 46.55 right there, somewhere in that area. But there's no guarantee. But it should just continue to go higher and grind higher and higher. All right. Thomas, Celsius. Celsius is finishing up of the 5th wave. It is definitely frustrating a lot of traders because they're hoping to call the bottom. I believe it's already bottomed here, so it made a fifth wave. So a lot of times it's still in our buy area here, and I believe it made a 5th wave and it's pulling out. Now there is a chance it's still 4 here and make one more low. There's still a chance of that, but it's almost at the it's coming soon to the end. So maybe it could do that. But I think this is like long-term investors are just going to have to dollar cost average in this area if you believe in it as a company. But it is turning out of a massive correction, a massive flat correction, and it should be finishing up at any moment. It may already be finished. Not yet. Like I said, if it pushes down on 4 here, I mean, if this is 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we put maybe it could hit 23, something like that. If you look at the fractal nature of Celsius, you could see how it bottoms. You see how it kind of finds a bottom and then it does like this like shakeout like low, just breaks the low. It tends to do that. It has like a a weird, like it has a weird type of bottom in process, almost like a triple bottom. And so like when I look at this, I'm like, I kind of see that, like you see it come down, you come down. I could see it doing this and then like drop in. And so I think the way it bottoms is very unorthodox in some ways that we normally see. So I think that's something to keep in mind because that's what we saw right here, how it bottomed. So this is a higher degree. So this may, again, we may finish at 23, run up, drop real quick, run back up, drop real quick. So I'm just preparing you for what's in front of you, what may happen as you rebase out. But I do believe it's I think one more low is probable, and then it should turn out. I really wouldn't give up on this because this leg needs a relief rally at least. This leg needs a bounce. It's gonna bounce, even if it's gonna go to zero. It's gotta have a bounce coming, a substantial one on the weekly monthly cycle. Okay, BAMA, gold and silver, GDX. Yeah, let's take a look. So real quick, gold in its fifth wave kind of syncs up nice with the market to get that finished, so you could have a nice risk-off moment. So getting this fifth wave, want to see it break this high, one more high. One more high, it did hit a buy area, and then that should do it. That should do it. So again, it could always erase divergence. I always say that. And then we'll have a multi-month pullback, a massive pullback. If we can make one more high. Silver, silver's a little different chart. I believe silver didn't hit our buy area originally. It truncated. It looks like it's in 5. It looks like this B wave will fail and we'll get another leg lower, eventually hitting, I believe, $25 or even lower potentially. So I believe silver is in a connector wave. I don't think silver is going to take this high out. That's how I look at it. All right, and then GDX. GDX is interesting here because, let me go to the wrong one here. Commodities. So the GDX did make this flat, right? That I was mentioning, and we now, where are we? Okay, we could still be in the flat. We didn't go deep enough. We did not get to 31. So if gold is going to do what I'm going to do, I think the C leg will extend lower. We got the bounce where we wanted it. That was a good bounce. That was your trade. But now maybe the two could come higher, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that play out. But with the gold moving lower that I have forecasted, I can't see the GDX running. So I still see something like this. I see ultimately the low, the major cycle low at 31, 32. But I think this is where we are right now in GDX. Something like this bounce. Now, what happens if we take the high out? If we take the high out, well, then it's a 1, 2, 1, 2 out. That's what will happen, I think. All right. Shane, CGC. Let's go to that. Canopy growth. All right. So it's still, I show this a very bearish pattern that wants to play out. But this isn't an area to go short it, because there's no short setup. But that's what it looks like to me. It looks like you're still in this, like this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're just about to get back up, and then something down. Okay, Anonymous, again, another super chat. Appreciate that. Nvidia. So guys, my Nvidia price target hit exact, and it reversed right off of where I expected it. There's somebody on my channel that we pretty much nailed almost every swing in Nvidia, and that should do it. That's it. That's it. I think it stopped. I think it stopped. And then it's a massive pullback in 4. But this is just 4. This also lends the idea the indices, while they'll have a big pullback, a big scary pullback, that many will call a crash or say it's a crash, won't be, because Nvidia shows it needs actually a 5 still. So for me, so I believe this pullback will be nasty, it'll be scary, it will be choppy. We could probably see $80 again, maybe $90, somewhere in this area. But believe it or not, there's more upside to come, which indicates perhaps the market is going to still extend later. Now, there's always a possibility that this cycle will form a 1-2 and not a 3-4, right? This, I don't have it here, but this 1-2 is the .com peak and bust. This is the 3 and the 4 of that. What if it's a 1-2, 1-2? Well, if that's the case, it'll go deeper. It'll go down to 70, 69. But if it's a 1-2, 1-2, then that's possible too. So I have it labeled as a 3-4, but it could also be another 1-2, 1-2. We don't know. But I just look at it. It looks like it's peaked to me. It looks like it's peaked. Now, within this wave, again, you need an ABC. So you have 5 up here. Let's look at this wave here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could get 5 here off of that C leg. So I think it's peaked. What if we come back and take it out? If we take it out, then we're probably just still in C, and it just needs, and then it'll one more swing. So it's, but I don't think so. I think it's probably peaked. Just looking at it. Okay. INDO. So INDO follows the price of oil typically. I do think oil still should push lower. So I think, well, not typically. It had been doing that, and then so INDO early on in its history did not trade with the price of oil, and then it started to do that once I kind of been talking about it. So here we are. We made this low here, and I warned people like this would break, and it would be another leg lower. That low ended, and it looks like we have 5 off the low, and we need to pull back in a wave 2. So we could see a pullback to 287, 275 again before we come out. But it doesn't have to do that. It could already be finished. But to me, it looks like this low at 272 really needs to hold. But you're out of room to the downside. You're out of room. Now, looking at it again, let's take another look. You have 1, 2. Could I be off by a swing? It's possible. So I do present this alternative. Is that a 4? And we get 5. One more low. Possible too. But we have to stay above this $2 area right here. So I think it's tricky. I think I would favor so I'm going to actually relabel it. I'm going to label it this way because we only have 3 up. So if we could take this high out, that'd be better for me, more convincing that this low's in. So I actually think it's I'll just label it this way for now. And then you'll have to decide how aggressive you want to be on it. But if we could take this peak out, then you definitely have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you could put the low in. So I think you just have to decide what's best for you on this. This would be an A, B, C. There's your 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means oil is going to take a dump next week. Something like that. All right, good luck on that. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah, I try to do the live streams as much as I can. I've been personally in a move that's consumed a lot of my time and focus and energy, And at some point that will settle down, and I'll be able to devote more time to the channel and live streams that I had done in the past. So it's just been tough to find the time. But luckily today I had some time, so I wanted to get this in. Okay, NCLH short. Okay, let's see here. Okay, looks like you have 3 down here. Capitulation, obviously, when they thought there'll never be cruises again. Now, coming off the low, I only see 3 waves. See, that's interesting, right? You don't have 5 waves off the low, you only have 3 off the low. Let's look at the divergence. No divergence. So, very like a Bowen-like chart. So it's like 3. This looks very impulsive off of this direction. So yeah, I could see why you wanted to short it. So if I was going to short it, and again, there's no guarantee, you would want to short it kind of right where you are right now, in this area. 3 waves. So what you're shorting, because if this is a connector for this whole move, this is essentially going bankrupt. I mean, that's what this is saying. I mean, this is what this is basically saying here, right? And then this is some kind of that's the chart, but we don't have any. There's no reason to think that could happen other than looking at the waves, studying the nature of the waves. That's the only reason I would label it this way. Let's take a look at the daily here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this even looks corrective itself. So when you look at the weekly time frame, see there's no divergence there. It's not really impulsive, but that's okay. Maybe it's moving in 3s. So yeah, we'll just label it a little different. 1, 2, 3 connector. 1, 2, 3. Yep, like that. So this is how the labeling would have to play out. Now, you see how you haven't taken this peak out here? This shows that you could see some more upside potentially in the connector, but it should be getting close to becoming finished, as this leg has to finish an impulse. There's your 1, 2 right there. 3, 4. Yeah. So I think you have one more. Yeah, I think you have a little more upside in this still. So you may get squeezed a little bit on that final little bit, if this is the count. Now, if you could take out 34, then this is negated, right? Then it's going to extend higher. Then it's coming out as a lead-in diagonal in a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So I would just label it this way for now but it's very unclear, but it doesn't look bullish the way it's bottoming here. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and keep going here. Some of these other ones that you've got. Ryan, Taller, Frey. Let me go through these. Frey Battery, some new ones. And VONOY. Looks like we've done that one. Then CRZ, and then bear. I think that's all of them. And one more. RNMBY. All right, I'll just go through each one real quick. So Frey obviously is finished, right? Look at that reaction. So this one's actually pretty easy. It hit the buy, well, it missed the buy area by a few pennies, but it got close enough. And now it looks like it's finishing its first impulse. And we'll be pulling back. Right? It looks like it's something, and then it's got to pull back, coming, and then for more upside. So I could pull back to 180, something like, but it just started its pullback. All right, this one's working out pretty good so far. Still looking for more downside. Now this could also truncate. The cycle looks like it's ended. So it looks like that's over here. And it ended in the truncation of some kind. Well, actually, you see that high right there? That negated that. So we're gonna relabel that a little bit different label. Oh, I see what it did. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to what I had. Go back to what I had. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's interesting that RSI break right there, showing the whole cycle's over. I think you still have to be careful for a deeper correction, a deeper pullback. I would still be concerned of that. So what I think you've got is a 1, a 2. I think you still should be concerned of a deeper pullback when this bounce ends. I think that's more likely. Okay, then the next one, same thing. Looks like you have the connector here, and you're still pulling back. At least one more swing lower. It should make like one more swing lower. Yeah, I think I actually put the connector here. Yeah, see, and you went through it. You see how this took from March 3rd to September 15. My guess is it's gonna play around in this area a little bit. It's gonna do something like this, and then come out. This one looks like it could be finished at any moment, right? Look at that. Now there's no divergence there, so you could still be in the wave 5. You see how you took that out? You erased divergence but not on the higher time frame. On the shorter time frame, you have. I've put more stock in the higher time frames, so I'm not going to call the extension yet. But I think wave 5 is clearly not done. A little bit here. So yeah, I'm thinking it should get another like bounce and some a little more downside, but if this is right, this should end at any moment. This should end at any moment. It's correction. Okay. And then the next one here, it looks like it truncated in a flat, and it's already in wave 5. It's trying to erase divergence. If it does, that'll become a 1-2, and it'll extend. So yeah, it's still pushing higher in wave 5. Something like this. I think something like that. Okay, good luck. All right, next question, WDS. WDS here, 3 waves down, no divergence. So more than likely that's a major low. This looks like it's very impulsive here. There's your 4-5, so very deep correction. So again, it looks like you had this like 1 and 2 here, and then you're coming off of that with a lot of divergence. There's your 3. I see kind of like ABC for 1, 2, ABC for 3, 4, ABC for 5, and then this should be. This looks like it's. I mean, it's pretty extended. It's starting to come up already. Yeah, this correction is gonna end at any moment. I think it's gonna end at any moment. Looks like you have 3, 3, and then you just need another 3 down here. Well, let's go back and look. Yeah, 3 down, 3 up, A, B. There's your 3, 3 up. Maybe one more swing lower. Let's go ahead and label it and see. ABC, AB, something like that. And then 5 down there. And then 5 down there. So that gets you to WX, and then you see you have the divergence. So maybe it does need a little more downside, just like a little bit more, and then something like that. So this should push down a little bit more, ideally erasing all the divergence on the daily and on the 4-hour here. I'd like to see it push down lower. All right, good luck trading it. All right, long. So yeah, I mean, you could try to buy it here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes low, a little bit lower. All right, Hive Digital. All right, Hive. All right, so Hive has been accumulating. We tried that. Did we have this buy here? We tried to pinpoint our buy here. Looks like we did get that right, almost exactly. And then we've come out in a real odd connect. Like, you know, how do we want to label this? I mean, the only way I could see trying to label it, yeah. I mean, you could have something like A, B, C, 1, A, B, C, 2, and then but that won't work because this is the Yeah, actually, it's very similar to this. So, yeah, I think it's just kind of moving in three waves off the low. Um, that's how I see it. So I think it's due for a big move on this third wave to get separation here. It makes sense if crypto's running, right? So your question is short term, as long as it's within this channel, I would say this is valid. So short term, I would see it, I could see it going back up to this like $10 area, this $11 area. Long term, if it's a major low, you see how you have this kind of consolidation. You'd probably come back up to test this high again at 25, but if you could get that breakout of the high, you'll see again the fractal nature, how it broke out before of its last kind of consolidation, which again, there's no science to it. It's just something that I try to do. So it's like not at the 16, but it's somewhere about, I would say 30% off of that. So you get a pump, you could get a pump up to somewhere around 360, $380. But and you could see this can pump. Look, I mean, if you're like, well, it's just pipe dream. I mean, we know this stock can pump. I mean, look, it went from 76 cents to $29 in 12 months. So this stock can pump when it wants to get going. So we just so yeah, that's the key is where I have to relabel that. But basically, that's the idea. So I think we're coming out of that, and I believe you're gonna get a spike soon on the shorter time frame. All right, ACHR. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, I don't really care too much about Archer Aviation, but let's see where we're at with it. So we did break that low. So this could be a connector wave. So I still think it's in danger of coming back to my box. So this is why my system is different than most, and why a lot of traders get angry with me on my channel and stuff, because to them it seems like logical. I should just keep going to the moon. But when I look at this looks like just a big corrective pattern. So to me, it looks like something like this. And this would turn into something like this. So I would still stick with that. That's because I wouldn't change the way I trade. Um, you have the bearish divergence, so this is a massive extended fifth right there with your impulse, which you would have expected. And then the short area would have been right where you're at now, $6. So time will tell if this plays out. I don't like it long because of the setup here, what happened down here. I don't like it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that still play out. All right, I got to keep going here. Getting a lot of big super chats today. It's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. So you want some long-term things. So long-term is kind of, I look at it as the major cycle, like long-term. Some people are like, what's long-term? What's 25 years from now? Like, I don't, like, that's too far in the future, right? So Solana here, we really traded this pretty well, except for did we get that dip buy there? Did it ever make it down there? I think it truncated. Yeah, we never got that dip buy. So we never got the dip buy here. That's all right. we did get the buy down here, and then we got the short here. So now you have a massive breakout, right? So, I mean, it's obviously going higher. Right, and this is starting to enter wave 3 grand super cycle territory. So, I mean, long term, you know, again, it went from 20 to $261 pretty quickly. Uh, you know, there's not a lot of price history to kind of forecast it. So what we do is you have a 1 2 1 2 1 2. So if you just look at that nature, we haven't hit wave 3 yet. So if this is a wave 3 and this is a larger cycle, I mean, it should go into the thousands of, you know, maybe even 10,000 a share, right? It should go considerably higher. So I can't really forecast like a perfect long-term chart. I mean, a safe number would be like $500, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it over 1,000. We could try to create like a channel here, and sometimes these blow off tops tag these upper channels, so that'd be 900. So something like that for Solana, ADA. ADA, let's take a look. So ADA was one that we did not get. It looks like it truncated and expanded flat. So we had this 1 2. So ADA is not making another low. Look at that. So that's fine. So we have 5 up and we have another 2. So ADA is making a move. And again, we don't have a lot of price history on it. So long term, the next cycle peak, as you can see, you had like a 1 2 3 4 5 here, and then AB. I'll have to relabel it since we didn't make a high, a flat. This is a big flat then. So then this one we could probably project the wave 3 target, this target on the next, if we could break $3 here. So that gets us to an extension of somewhere around, again, close to that magic 16 level here. Wonder if we got some major hyperinflation coming, like way crazy inflation. I wonder. That'd get us to like $40, somewhere in the $40 range. So that would be like this peak. That would be like the equivalent of this peak on the next degree higher. And you're going to see how you do it, right? So, but a lot of people won't hold, or they'll be scared, or they won't like believe in it. But at some point, the technicals, if they play out, that's where it should take it. XLM. I thought I had XLM, yeah. XLM, we did call the low. I think we called this like, hey, this is going to pump any moment. So this one should have made people a lot of money. So XLM, again, we've seen it go vertical before in its first wave 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is a 1, 2, 1, 2. So we'll be in a wave 3. So it looks like, just looking at it, it tends to have bigger wave 1s than wave 3s. So there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one won't extend as much as you think. This one will only do like a 2, 3, 6. This is a more classic extension. So this one would probably get to like $1. $1 would probably be it. All right, next is VET, VET. I don't have that charted. Okay, VET, again, long term, I would ignore that. I would just look at this 1, 2. Again, assuming this is the low, and looking at the wave 3, if we look here, you have 1, 2 here, and then you have to find your wave 3 off of that peak. Yeah, this is see, we don't even have 5 waves. So this is actually bear. I wouldn't think it's gonna. This is a corrective bounce here. It's in a corrective move. So since it's corrective, there is probably no all-time highs coming. I'll probably be looking for long-term like 30 cents, 35 cents, something like that, somewhere in this area. That's probably where it will go. In One Harmony, 1. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this. I'm trying to find out where it is. All right. So that was the buy area. But see, we broke that low right there. Yeah, we're going to take another look at this one. There we go. So this does not look like 5. Well, yeah, you could say it's 5 up, and there's your 3. Again, I'm going to ignore whatever that is, that spike. But you've probably got something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And so if we were to come back and take this out, you could look at how did the 3, again, relate to this wave 2. It got, again, maybe, 60% up on the 16 there. So, you'd look for something like the next cycle higher would be something like $5. That would be the target, and it's in a consolidation phase right now. Accumulation phase. I mean accumulation off the low. Yeah, I guess it did hold this low. So yeah, so it's being accumulated, and it looks like a 1, 2. It's just starting. All right, I hope that helps. Okay, Donald, UVIX and Tesla. So let's go to UVIX. UVIX is bounced where I expected it to, right? So UVIX bounced here, and then it pulled back. And I mentioned we should get one more swing higher, and we got that swing. Now we're consolidating, and this is the next buy area. Friday it hit that, and we should be seeing. We should see more upside. One more swing. The reason I want to be in UVIX is a way to play Japanese yen strength. What I've noticed is the UVIX tends to go much higher rapidly when the Japanese yen strengthens rapidly. The yen is due to strengthen soon rapidly, I think. It's overextended. Let's go to the Japanese yen real quick. So I think, I have this chart, but I look at the Japanese yen, and I really want to keep an eye on that. This discount on the yen, and it's starting to roll over potentially. Yes, it could still push a little bit higher, get a little more weakness, but when this breaks and we get this leg, UVIX, we all remember what it did. I bet UVIX will be a great opportunity to play that risk off yen strength that should be coming into the market. And so I do show it moving higher off of this low still. But the buy area was Friday was tagged again on this 3-wave move right here to see if we can get Y like this. That's the idea. If we don't get it, there's always a chance this is a connector for this entire move here. So ultimately it has to stay above 329, or it's in a really bad situation. I wouldn't trade it. I would stop out of it. But this is kind of the setup. All right. Tesla, I don't believe took the high out, or did it? did not take the high out yet. So the bearish structure is still in play, no matter the bullishness. We got to take this high out to negate the bearish structure. So I'm stick with the bearish structure for now. If we take the high out, then of course it's 5 up, and I'll relabel it from this low. We'll have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we'll pull back. And it's moving in 3 waves off the low 1, 2, and then 3 waves, 3, 4, and then 5. And then this should be moving 3 waves. So it's a very important level to break. If it can't break it, this is in play that I'm still showing. And we do know with Tesla, it got close in the past to break in these key levels like we did here. And it didn't do it. And it signaled the start of the bear market. There was another time we were trading it too. It was right here. Right here. So we were trading this back on August 22nd, 18th. And the same question, maybe it was Donald, maybe it was somebody else, asked me what to do about Tesla right here. And I said, well, technically, the X is in, but we have to break this high to negate that. And it couldn't do it by like 10 cents. It just couldn't do it. It just couldn't do it technically. It just couldn't make it. And what happened after that was a catastrophe. So that's all I'm saying, guys. The technicals rule the market. So yes, it's close, but that doesn't matter. So until that, we could be in the same situation all over again. Until we break that high, this is possible. And if this is right, this could be the best short opportunity of a lifetime for Tesla buying puts right now, right here, with the lowest risk, like it was back here on that day, on that channel. I said the same thing this day on that channel right there at that wick. I said the same thing, the same speech I just gave you guys. So can the bulls do it, or will they blow it and we have another catastrophe? We'll find out. We'll find out. Okay, Sofi. And I'm going to have to wrap up soon. So hopefully I can get to everybody's chats. If not, I'll make note of it and post them later. Yeah, so this is one where I was wrong, guys. I'm wrong on Sofi. It is what it is. I can't be right all the time. I still don't know why people, maybe fundamentally I'm just not a believer in the company. What I would say is we'll keep an open mind. So we did break this low. So I'm just going to say, okay, we're going to look for a bigger connector now in this. We're just going to have to do that. See that divergence there? So this is definitely an impulse down. So here we are again. Okay, so again, I can talk myself into we'll just do this. We'll just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see, this is only 3 down there. See, again, I just come back to the same pattern. So but it was just in a bigger connector. So we're just in a bigger connector. That's all it is. So I would respect that we're in a bigger connector, and we'll just kind of label it this way. A, B, C for W, X, Y. Y needs 3. Like you see, I have 3 and 3.
I didn't understand that.
All right. There we go. Sorry about that. So here you have 3 and 3. So if we look at the Y wave, we need a pullback, and we're going to need more upside. So something like this. It's going to do something like that. That's what it should do. 1, 2. it's still in the still in A. Yeah. Okay. So A should be coming to an end soon. You'll get B, and then you'll actually get another high, and then we should top out hopefully. And then I still wouldn't be surprised if that comes later in the years to come. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look real quick at these. I'm going to try to get through these because I got to get going here. DX, YZ, and then DJT. Luckily, I have a lot of these already labeled here. Mara, I did Mara earlier, but I'll circle back just real quick on it. ASML, yeah, that one we're just waiting for the buy area to get hit patiently. DXY, so this one looks like there's no change here. It's as long as we're below 49. It looks bearish. 5 down, 3 up. So again, as long as you're below 50, 21, this is in play. I still would expect that this is going to happen. All right, DJT, I'm waiting for 1961. This is some kind of consolidation area that should fail, and we should get another low. Well, actually, look at that. See that little dump, and then that big spike. So that's the connector. So let's just go back into it. So maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's in a decisive. So there's a chance that this is the low right here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we make 5 and pull back. Well, 1, 2, 1, 2, or it's a connector. So there's too many possibilities to label. I would just say it's bullish above 2642 because it's completed the corrective structure already. It's already completed the correction. But if this fails, it will take another leg lower, and then it's going into those lower targets I had earlier. So it's just not enough data here to know. But I would just say I would expect it to go higher as long as it's above 2642. And Mara, we looked at that. We're looking at a 5th wave extension, and then I think you'll get a big pullback back down to 17. Probably when Bitcoin corrects that move that it's been in. Now, if it can erase divergence and take this peak out on the 4-hour and daily, then it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's essentially going vertical. Okay. Then ASML, again, we're patiently waiting for 491 to get tagged, and there's really nothing I'd like to worry about doing on this until that happens. It looks like here you have some kind of 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, looking for a big wave 3 down. Okay, Hex. Let's go to Hex coin. Hex coin, we did call that peak. We watched the channel break, and boom, big spike, 1, 2. So yeah, we're just going to label it again, like we do with GameStop. We just label the chart that we see in front of us. We have a 1, 2, and then we have another 1, 2 right here, right? And then this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So it looks like we got another pullback coming, probably down to this area. And then hopefully you come out of this. That's the idea. As long as you're above this low, it should be bullish. Above this low right there. Something like that. Service Now. Let's go to Service Now real quick. Finishing up this 5th wave. like most of the market, right? We had the buy here on my channel exactly on the low, and we called this first impulse. But is this a wave 3 or another 1-2? It's a 1. It's another 1-2. So ServiceNow is very good stock for investors to buy. Oh, we took that out. We took that divergence out. So it's extended. So it's not in a wave 5. It's extended. Yep, and that's what can happen with Elliott waves. It's just so hard. Elliott wave struggles to predict extensions. Yeah, Elliott waves definitely fails at extensions. So I would just sit tight and just hold your core position. This has got more upside coming, and it could just keep extending. So there's really no reason for it to ever see these prices again. Now it should just continue to push higher. Now we obviously at some point it will correct this move, and again we just try to time it with Elliott waves, but at some point when that pullback comes and that move comes, when you get this correction, whenever this happens, great opportunity. This is one I want to buy, just like we did here. So we just wait and see. But I think it's got more upside, obviously. All right. Again, I'm trying to get through all the super chats. I may not be able to, but I'll do my best. Digesting, please. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. You have to put the symbol in it, man. Oh, Dogecoin. Dogecoin, okay. Dogecoin. Getting that big blow off top here, and why? Let's see. Yeah, we'll just let's go back and look at this again. It's 5 down. Yeah, we'll just have to call it what it is. This is what it is. So this is it. So I think you just again you're in a massive impulse, but the impulse has to come to an end soon. So that's probably your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2 right there. So that should be coming to an end soon. So we got a big pullback coming, but you should see more upside. So these pullbacks in crypto that are coming, you want to be buyers of 3 waves. All right, BCHG. So I gave that update earlier, but basically BCHG hit a buy area on Friday, and only time will tell if that was a smart decision or not here. And 5 waves move off the low. We have a 1 and 3 wave move, and this was the buy area. And only time will tell. As long as it's above 446, the structure is good. Ultimately looking for target up at $34 and a 3, 3, and then eventually A, B, a 3 up. So good luck on that. All right, Meta, UALEEM. All right, UALEEM. So UAL pushed even higher than we thought. So we definitely got the right side of this by saying it was going to go higher, but when is it going to stop? And that's the thing, it could just keep pushing higher, but I do at some point it will have a rug pull. Let's take a look. It looks like it's going to play out the flat scenario in a three-way move, a big three-way move. So yeah, I mean, this obviously is continual. At some point, the impulse will end. We need a 4 and a 5, and then that should do it. So we're still in this wave 3 situation, but you see, we're getting bearish divergence now. So it should be coming to an end. This 3 should be coming to an end at any moment. EEM. EM, I'm looking for a bounce and a failure. I'm looking for it at $25. That makes sense with the Hang Seng where it's going, but ultimately it's bullish. It's just, I believe this is the count I have on it, and we need one more swing down to here. So this should be ending soon, hopefully, and we get that push lower. That's what we're looking for. And then this would be a great long-term investment opportunity because you'll have a 1-2-1-2 grand super cycle. So the 2030s, 2040s, this is where you want to be. But it may be a little bit of pain coming here, which makes sense looking at where the Hang Seng is because that typically follows these two kind of track together. All right, Zeta crypto. Let's see, I don't have that. Zeta. Not a lot of price action there. Let's try a different exchange. Oops, that's not it. I made a mistake. Yeah, there's just not a lot of price data to properly analyze it. But if you're trying to study it, you have a connector here. You have 3 waves, and you're coming off the low. You broke the high, so I would just say over 33 cents. It should be more upside. It looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves here with the bearish divergence. So it does look like a pullback is coming off of this bottom. We have something like this happening, and we'll pull back down to 49 cents would be the idea, and then you come out. That's what I think will happen. All right, Halstone. Let me go into those real quick. Unify. Zim. All right. All right. So, are they good 1-2-1-2 setups? We'll have to look at it. So, bigger picture, you have a 1-2. So it's clearly an impulse that ended, and you broke the low. So it looks like to me, it looks like just a big 1-2. So I don't see a multiple one. I just see a big grand super cycle correction here that is, yeah, that's pretty much at the buy area right there. It's at 670. So it's right where you want it to be. So to me, it's a buy here, right now. Is it like a super duper like 1-2-1-2? No, I think it's just a 1-2. but I do think that's a buy right there. All right, then Unify. Now this one's a little different, right? This one I do think is a 1-2-1-2, a 1-2-1-2, just like I have it here, and we're coming out of that. So yeah, this is a good. This one's a really good opportunity that I've kept my eye on myself. So to me, this chart looks like 5 up, 3 down, 5 up, 3 down, and we're just coming out. Again, these are the stocks no one wants to own or trades. That's why they're so good. They're great opportunities. So there's another one, Unify right here. I'll get rid of some of this, clean it up. As you can see, yeah. So this one is a good 1-2-1-2 setup, just like that. So that one looks pretty good to me. And it looks like it's starting to turn. And Zimmer. So that's probably not labeled right here. Let's see. Let's go back and put that as a 1-2 here. And then that looks like, so could be another 1-2. Let's see, you corrected this whole cycle in that move with the RSI at the peak. It could be this. Yeah, it's tricky. It's probably doing a flat on this wave 2 or even this wave 2 at a higher degree, because you only have 3 and 3, and this was such a sharp drop. So I think you have to be careful of two things. I think it's either this is 2, just like I have it here, like this, where it's going to do is flat. And this, again, the flat is the most sinister, dangerous pattern. You get an A, a B, and a C like that. You come back down to this area before you really break out. You get that, which is the way I would label it. But if we take this, go to the higher time frame. If we take out that peak, when we do that, then it's the bigger flat. Then it's this wave 2. And this was an A, B, C, back down to 15. But either way, no matter whatever happens here, fast forward 12 months from now, it's trading up here. That's what I think. So again, could be a little pain, a little, market makers trying to destroy the bulls before they allow you to make money on it. I don't know what it is, but you think of it as another gift to get long if you miss this move. That's what flats do. Flats is like a second chance entry for people that have missed the move. And so you have to be careful. You could get something like that. So we'll have to wait and see and let this play out. But that's what it looks like to me now, unfortunately, because the move was so strong off that reversal. All right, AIFU. So here you have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's a tough area, but it's 3 and 3. And now the market will say it could come back up for another swing. We just don't know. Unfortunately, these go to 0 1s. Let's see here. 3, 5. So something like this. And that looks like 5 down, but no divergence. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to play this out and see where it takes us. See, there's no way to know where you'll get the next counter trend rally. There's no way to know, but at some point this will end, and then you'll get a massive pump if it still exists, right? The symbol still exists at that point. So there's the connector. There's your first. So I wonder if it's finished. It could be finished. So this Y could be finished here. If it is, you'll get a massive pump uh, at any moment because it just started. Just started, right? Um, I would wait. See, you got this trend line. It's still tough to say. So it does look like this cycle's over here in 3, right here off of this low. So it's gonna be two possibilities. Either it's finished here and it's gonna have a massive pump, or it's gonna be, another a W and another leg like that. So we don't know. And there's even a chance it could be already done X here, and it just goes straight down again. So I think you really don't know, but I think the only way to trade it is as long as you're above $1, you want to be on the long side of the trade, and then see what happens. I would not short it until now breaking that low. That could be interesting, but then even if you break the low, it could still fool you and become like a 5-wave move and pump and then fail again. But at least you'll know it'll probably fail again. All right. Okay, XRP. Guys, people have been asking me XRP on my channel for years, and it's starting to move. I mean, if you all listen to me, we would have done it. You guys would have done it right. I told you guys what to do with XRP, man. I mean, shit. Look at this thing. It's now. Is it gonna pull back? Yeah, it's due a pullback, but this pullback's buyable for even more upside. So I don't need to say anything more than that. Just hold on. But yeah, it's a point this will end. You'll get a pullback and you'll get Y. It just keep pulling up. Okay. JP Morgan. JP Morgan is considered fundamental investor euphoria. I mean, look at this chart, guys. Look at this shit. It's vertical. What's it gonna do? Do that? All right. I can't get. I mean, this is in fundamental investor euphoria right now. Look at the bearish divergence. Look at this shit. Holy shit. Oh, this thing's gonna fucking crash, guys. Holy shit, man. This is the mark. This is telling you maybe this is Aladdin. Is this Aladdin right here? Gonna be fucking blown up. I mean, this shit is insane, insane. I mean, damn. I just say that this is if you're there's no way in your mind you could talk yourself into putting your whole stack into financials right here like that. I mean, look at that shit. I mean, look at this. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just gonna take the right news event. God knows what it's gonna take, but it should be coming to an end. We can look at the shorter time frames. Well, look, you see, it's already ending. It's in a 5 of 5 of 5. I mean, there. Let's get even more precise. See if we can get more precise. Two. Yeah, I mean, this is probably 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, something like this. It's probably like a 1, 2. That's probably a 1, 2 right here. So, yeah, it looks like it should be should be over soon. Now, it could always extend to 5, right? It could always come back down to 190 and just keep getting more vertical, right? More insane, but man, yeah, JP Morgan, but it is fundamental investor euphoria. If you listen to analysts on CNBC talk about JP, it's like they consider it like buying like treasury bond, risk free. Like you can't like it's like it's their version of Bitcoin. Like it's a fundamental investor's version of like a can't lose like bet in the market, almost like Lily's been, which obviously isn't been so far. Okay, oh Zeta, oh it's from a stock. Okay, I didn't know. Zeta Global Holdings. Oh, okay, we have that stock anyway. Chart it. And looks like we had this fifth wave here and it ended. And we pulled back hard. So when it pulls back this hard, it's doing a 1-2-1-2 setup. And you see we're above these peaks. So it's not a 3-4. It turned into another 1-2 here. And honestly, this is deep enough now. It could end at any moment. Actually, we don't even have a bounce here. Like this is just a crash correction. So it's technically could be over here, but with a crash correction, it could easily. I'm sorry, it could easily bounce and fail later. But you're correct in this whole move now. But this could be deep enough and be done. Oh yeah, it is interesting. Coin L. Coin L. If you look at Coinbase should have more upside, right, in the cycle here, and then have a big pullback. So Coin L may go up a little bit higher, but I believe all like it's going to be sideways to lower because that's what happens with these leveraged funds. That looks like a fourth wave right there. Let's see what we got going on. So we're in this Y wave of Coin L. Looks like we have the first 5 waves up here finished on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So to me, it looks like you already finished this this A here. You're in B, and you'll get C later. So you should get one more swing higher here, and then out. This looks like to me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could still chop around here some more. It could even dip back down to 45, but it's in some kind of consolidation phase, which is what I think it's sideways to lower, and then you can get another move higher later. Well, I got through everything. So a lot of super chats because I haven't been live streaming. I've got to run. I've been on quite a while, but I will say that hope you found my live stream interesting. I didn't get a chance to really read through comments, if I can get to that in the future, I'll do that. I'll try to make sure I read everyone's comments, normally I'm not behind on my live streams, but let me just scan through them just real quick here. Yeah, quantum. It's a crazy time. Yeah, GME should be grinding higher. Yeah. If a lot of people put into regional banks, they're playing on the Russell breaking out. And if the Russell does a rug pull because interest rates spike again, and the Fed is already pivoting, right? They're trying to talk it back, their rate decrease cycle, ironically, just as Trump became into office. And even some guy was brave enough to go on CNBC and say, yeah, see, the Fed is political. As soon as Trump's elected, they're like, now they're talking back everything. So, like, God knows, what a coincidence that all of a sudden now it's time to maybe inflation is making a comeback. So like if they go back to a tightening phase, which my charts predict they will, then the Russell will get hammered again, just like we saw. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'll talk to you later and